Welcome back to week 4 of me chasing my dreams of playing in the US Open. After horrendous performance last time, I thought it might be a little useful to go to the range and try to improve my iron game. I can't be topping every ball if I ever plan to make the US Open, because who in their right mind would let a random 40 handicap just tee off with Scotty Scheffler? While at the range, I felt like my contact was getting a bit better, and to me that just means the ball was going somewhat straight and I wasn't shanking or topping it. It wasn't the greatest swings of my life, but they were much better than last time. Now, if only I could remember to keep my lead foot down. Now, as for my driver, I don't think that'll ever get fixed. I might need a miracle to see it go straight and over 250 yards. Now to see if all that time at the range can help me shoot better than a 67. Teeing off on this 353-yard par 4, I decided to go with a 3-wood since my driver has a mind of its own. Once again, not having a range to warm up on means my first shot will be pretty bad. I was able to hit a good recovery shot to get me close, however my 52 degree decided to go a bit right. I set myself up for a pretty simple up and down, but I hit a pretty weak chip shot and I didn't even get on the green. Another small chip shot and I'm on the green. I completely misread the putt and it goes way left. Second putt gets a bit closer and I'm able to 3-putt my way to a quad bogey. Not the best start if I want to beat my previous score. Hopefully this 505-yard par 5 goes a bit better. Once again I went with the 3-wood and ended up getting decent distance. I then hit a 9-iron in hopes of getting a bit closer and on the fairway, but hit a tree. Tried the same idea again and would you look at that, same result, just a lucky bounce on the fairway. I forgot to hit record, but my shot ended up on the green with a pretty long putt to go. I barely missed the putt and leave myself a tap in for bogey. Not a bad result on one of the longer holes. Coming up on this 149-yard par 3, I decided to go with the 9-iron, but put it a bit right. I hit a weak chip shot to get close to the green, and then another one to get close to the hole. And with one putt, I was able to get another bogey to be +6 after 3 holes. Back to the 3-wood on the 382-yard par 4, I hit it left, but it comes back and stays on the fairway. I was pretty confident in my next shot and hit a pitching wedge and left it short. Then I hit a sand wedge, and who would have guessed that it was also short? I followed it up with another weak chip shot before getting it on the green. I thought I had the putt lined up pretty well, but ended up putting it just right. Ended up tapping in the next putt for triple bogey, and this definitely wasn't one of my best holes. This 380-yard par 4 is pretty similar to last hole, so I hit a pretty similar shot and ended up right in the middle of the fairway. I had a pretty good 9-iron and ended up a bit past the green, but in chipping territory. This time I didn't hit a weak chip shot, but I did send it a bit right, and I left my first putt a bit short, but I was able to knock down the second putt for bogey. I think my new goal is to start playing bogey golf. I decided to use the 5 hybrid on this 219-yard par 3 and I hooked it a bit right, but it's still playable. I thought I could get my sand wedge to land the ball near the pin, but once again, it's short. I need to fix my short game. I chip it up to the green and then have a pretty simple putt, and once again, I line it up perfectly just to miss it. Putt 2 is pretty much the same putt, and I missed that one too. I tap in my 3 putt for triple bogey, and I wish I could redo this hole. Back to the 3-wood, and hopefully I can bogey this 367-yard par 4. My iron shot goes a bit left of the green, but sets me up in good position to chip and get close to the hole. Surprisingly, this time I hit my wedge pretty good and it would have made it close to the hole, but instead it decides to go right and runs away from the green. I give myself another opportunity to chip onto the green, and once again, I leave it short. The second chip is a bit better, but I misread the putt by a little bit and tap it in for triple bogey. 2 holes after setting a new goal, and I'm already failing miserably. I was feeling a little brave, so I decided to pull out my driver on this 304-yard par 4. It set me up to hit my 52 degree, which goes a bit right, but still in good position. I finally hit a good chip onto the green, and then I have a pretty good putt, which ends up flipping out, so I have to tap it in for bogey. A little frustrating, but better than triple. Thinking my driver was decent, I decided to use it on the next 501-yard par 5. Luckily, it lands right before all the bushes, and my goal was just to play a nice shot into the middle of the fairway. And I mostly did that. And after going a whole round without topping a single ball, I finally topped one. Unfortunate. I decided to hit a 52 degree next and thought that it was for sure ending up in the water, but it got a lucky bounce and was right next to the green. I hit another good chip shot which ended up hitting the flag, and man do I wish that one went in. I leave my putt a bit short and end up having to tap in for double bogey. Overall, I ended up plus 19 or shooting a 55 on 36. I ended up gaining 12 strokes since the last round and only cost me 2 range sessions and $30. Or who knows, maybe I just got really lucky today. Come back next week as I attempt to improve my iron game and get rid of my weak chips and challenge myself to break 50.